Does anybody know the brand of Asics?
Yes, sir.
Does anybody know their motto? Yeah, you want to say it louder?
Sound body, sound mind, sir.
Exactly. So that's basically what I'm going to be talking about today. So for a lot of you, this might be knowledge that you already have or that you already actively use every day. And some of you it might not be. It might be a new concept for you. I want you to sort of go into this with an open mind, think about this in a new perspective. You can either take it or leave it, but this is how I personally conduct myself in my daily life for the most part, except when I have a hold my account and can't go to the gym. And so adapt it to your own lifestyle. That's what we're talking about today. Oh yeah, so DET PT, personal PT is why it's all important. So PT, we're pretty much the basics of PT and why we do it here, the attachment, what the philosophy behind that is. So I think there's 3 steps to physical training in the mornings here. And I try to do these, don't get me wrong, don't fail at this. Sleep is the first step, so you have to make sure you get enough sleep and that your sleep is good sleep. Obviously that doesn't always happen. Sometimes when you're on Reddit, you end up spending all night doing that instead. The second step is waking up, because waking up is just as important as sleeping, right? Sometimes, so for example, this morning I woke up and was ready to about murder my pillow because I was so unhappy that I was waking up too early. It's all about how you wake up. Last step, performing. I think you got to perform when you come to PT. It's important. Don't wake up at 5:30 in the morning. Come here at 6 in the morning just to do nothing and not do your best. Okay, so let's talk about sleeping. Sleeping promotes metabolism. That's my cat, Watson. Sleeping promotes your metabolism. It's just a fact. The science behind sleeping is pretty vague, so everything I'm giving you is everything that I read on harvardsleep.com. So you can go check it, and if it's wrong, go ahead and feel free to tell me. But it promotes your metabolism. It's pretty much a fact about that. So everyone has a different metabolism, right? Some of us have really fast metabolism, some of us have really slow metabolism. Sometimes you're between, and we typically all want something different, right? So I want to gain weight and be a massive muscle monster, but that's not going to happen because I have really fast metabolism. So I should stop sleeping. Wrong. You should still sleep because it helps you process food better, it helps you process the fats, the sugars, the salts, everything that we eat on a daily basis. It keeps you alert and focused. Many a time have I fallen asleep in uniform in the library. And that's not a good thing to do, whether you're in uniform or not. You just look like a hobo. So, sleep. Well, sometimes, how many of you have ever fallen asleep at a briefing here with them? I've definitely fallen asleep 4 briefings at the lab. And it's pretty embarrassing, and flight commanders get really mad at you. And you just look very unprofessional. So sleeping helps that. And physical performance. Everyone probably wants to look like this guy. So if you're sleeping properly, well, maybe not everyone. I want to look like this guy. If you promote your metabolism, then you're able to process food better, which means that you're going to get better energy out of your food that you use. If you're alert and focused, then you're going to be able to work out on a daily basis and make use of that time. And then your physical performance is going to go up. And that's what we're talking about, physical performance. I don't mean necessarily just going to the gym and benching 250, but I'm talking every single day that you do, going upstairs, not being out of breath, sitting in class, being alert and focused, not having a sore back. It just helps everything. So you got to make sure you get enough sleep. How many of you go to bed before 10? All right, you're all freaks. No, I'm just kidding. That's good. You should go to bed before 10 because you have to give yourself at least 8 hours of sleep. Everyone knows that if you're under 30, you need 8 hours of sleep, right? Yes. You're supposed to get 8 hours of sleep. That doesn't always happen, especially not on the weekends. I know that for a fact. If you're not getting 8 hours of sleep, you're not able to do any of these 3 things. So you have to make sure that when you're waking up at 5 o'clock, how do I get my 8 hours of sleep? Just think about where you're going with that. So that brings us to our next step of waking up. Has anybody heard of Clocky before? No? Clocky is, yeah, what is it? Is that where you call someone? Oh no, but I've used that one, it's really weird. Yeah.
Is it one of the apps that wakes you up that your sleep's where you're at your sleep?
No, but you should use those. Those are good. There's a bunch of apps that you can use to wake up properly. One of them is called Wake Me Up, which you get a phone call from somebody else in the world, and I tried it, and I got Israeli people, I got German people, and so you never know what you're gonna get. It's kind of weird. The first time it's fun, and then the second time you're like, oh, stop talking to me. I don't know what you're saying. So waking up, it's important to find a way to wake up properly, and one of those ways is to go to bed early. Like I said, everyone gets on their computers at night and you're like, ooh, 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 and it's just a terrible rabbit hole, like this girl who's clearly not going to bed that early. You have to make sure that you allot the time for when you're going to sleep. You set yourself up for success that way. So you say, I'm going to go to bed at 9:30 or 9:45. When 9:45 rolls around, you close the laptop, shut your eyes, take your glasses off, and you go to bed. It's all about will. So make sure you make a schedule for yourself. Effective alarms. So just like we were talking about. Yeah, exactly. That if you knew that was going to blow up, you would wake up on time. Focus on that, right? So you have to make sure that whatever you're using to wake yourself up is going to work for you. If you think and you start reasoning in your head, well, it's just Monday PT, I'll just go on Wednesday, and then it'll be raining, so we'll be inside the gym, and it'll be easier. You're never going to wake up. But once you start reasoning with yourself and start bargaining and start coming up with ways not to wake up, you're just never going to get to that point. If your clock is something like Clocky is this little alarm clock that as soon as it goes off, it starts to roll and it runs away. And so it goes away and then it comes back in and then it goes away. And so it's a pain in the butt to get. So if your alarm clock goes off and you can't shut it off, or like you have to physically get up to turn it off, that's good. You're up, you're awake. You're not going to go back to bed afterwards. My alarm clock is my roommate who plays It's a Beautiful Morning, and it's the loudest thing in the world. And since it's not my alarm, I wake up. I have to wake up. It's not going to shut off until I turn it off. Whatever it takes to wake up on time and at the appropriate stage is how you got to do it. And oh no, where's my almond?
I ate it. Sorry, I thought it was packaged.
No, I had an almond here.
It wasn't.
Well, in the mornings for PT, what do you guys eat? Energy bar, yogurt, pre-workout. You shouldn't eat pre-workout. What else? Nothing. That's a common one. I usually don't eat nothing, but that's not good. I have an almond here. Like 4 or 5 nuts. Perfect. That's lean protein. It's good food. It's going to keep your stomach from growling, from you feeling like you're going to chew your arm off, right? You should drink coffee if you drink coffee. It's got caffeine in it. It's got antioxidants. It's actually really not that bad for you so long as you're not addicted to it like Ted Smith. You should drink water. You're going to go and sweat. So drink some water because you're going to replace that. When you wake up, make sure you're eating something that's going to work for your body type. If you're eating pre-workout, pre-workout heightens your heart rate. I don't know if you want to do that before going to PT, which is also going to heighten your heart rate, which then you're going to have a heart attack. And not the best idea. Protein bars. If that works for you, that works for you. It's too heavy for me. So I say something light and effective. Do you eat half a protein bar? Yeah, go for it. But maybe you just have a giant stomach and a giant appetite. It's all about working for your body type. And I think for me, almonds, coffee, and or water is awesome. I don't even need a whole banana. A whole banana is too much sometimes. What did we eat before Cocoa Head? Anybody? Cereal?
Yeah.
Why are you eating cereal? You got milk, you got sugar. It's too much, too heavy. How fast did you do Cocoa Head? How fast did you do it? Okay, if you had eaten some lighter, you might have done it in 19 minutes. That's extra weight you're carrying up. What else? Pre-workout. Nope, nope. We're gonna stop eating pre-workout before we go.
Nothing.
PT. Nothing.
I usually hit up an apple.
Apple. Apple's a great one. So eat something light. Eat something that's gonna keep you going, but is also not gonna weigh you down. If you're throwing at PT, it's probably because either you're not in shape or you're eating something wrong. Okay, so let's talk about performance at PT. You gotta go 100% for you, right? These 2-pound weights are probably really hard for homeboy here. You gotta do what you gotta do, right? Everyone's not gonna start out as a superstar. That's not how it works. I wish it was, because then we would get 100s on our PFA across the board. So whatever 100% is for you, then that's what you gotta be doing. There are, Cadet Perry, is he here? Perfect example. All right, Cadet Perry was in my flight a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And when we were doing our circuit runs, Cadet Perry decided to be in group 2, which is like the semi-fast group, right? And so the time to do 2 laps was like 3:45. Cadet Perry does his PFA in 8 minutes. I know for a fact he was sandbagging. You gotta go 100% for you. If you can run your PFA in under 9 minutes, be in the first group. Push yourself, excel, and show everyone else how fast you are. Push the members of your team. If you're in group 3, push yourself. You're in group 3, you should be striving to go into group 2. You always gotta make sure that you're pushing yourself one step further every single time you work out. It's the same thing with weightlifting. When you go to lift weights, you're not gonna lift the same amount every single time. You're not gonna go anywhere. You're just gonna plateau. You gotta make sure that every single time you're gonna be using a little bit more, you're gonna be doing a few more reps, just to make sure that you're getting the most effective out of your workout. I see so many of you do this. It bugs the crap out of me. Too much H2O, right? So light and effective was the model for previous. Too much water during PT. Trying to replace it, trying to stave off sort of the dehydration and the thirst, but shouldn't be there drinking your entire analogy. You're going to throw up water afterwards. We all know what water intoxication is, right? Yep. Yeah, there's that kid that died at Chico a couple of years ago. Don't be doing this. This is dumb. So when you go for a water break, take a sip of water, get your mouth wet, splash them on your face, whatever you got to do, but don't be drinking your entire water bottle. And self-encouragement. Hey, Kim, what happened to all my photos?
I thought they were overlapping each other. So
Oh my God.
Sorry. I didn't know what was going to pop out.
Trust me, I got this. Anyways, this is supposed to be big, because self-encouragement. It's not about encouraging your teammates. That's helpful. But it's about encouraging yourself. This is willpower, people. You got to get inside your own head and make sure that you're going to do what you got to do. When it comes down to the PFA, and you're doing lap number 4, how many of you are bored out of your minds? Right? I freaking hate the PFA because I get so bored. You have to be able to get inside your own head and be able to tell yourself, you're going to do this right now because it'll be over faster, or because you want to perform better. Whatever it takes for you to self-motivate is what you got to start thinking in your head. It's different for different people. So for me, running the PFA is all about, if I run faster, then I don't have to do this anymore. And then I run faster. For some of you, it's okay, I got 10:50 on my lap PFA, I want 10:40 on this PFA. So hit that goal. Tell yourself you're going to do it. And when you do it, how great do you feel, right? Everyone feels good when you accomplish a goal. And it's really easy to do when it's all on your own. I think self-encouragement is more effective than team motivation. Because when people are yelling at you, then you feel stressed out, and you feel like you're going to do it for everyone else, and that's not how it should be. Self-encouragement is important in all aspects of our lives, and if you can start with your physical performance, then you can start doing it in your academic life. All right, personal PT. So that's dead PT as I see it, the important aspects of it. And personal PT is important because how many of you go to PT 3 times a week? Liars, liars. It's okay though. No one goes to PT 3 times a week. Even then, it's not enough. So with personal physical training on your own time, you got to choose a goal. For like 6 months, I was going to the gym, and I was kind of just going to the gym, go to the gym, and I have a goal. And I got really tired of it. I really didn't want to go anymore. And it's because there was no end destination for myself. I needed something to work on. You have to find out how you work out. So, like we talked about, if certain aspects are hard for you, if doing squats is really painful, don't do squats. It's simple as that. You got to find out what works for your body type. And you got to turn it into a habit. So you got to make sure that you put time every day to go to the gym. There's famous stories about people who they would go to the gym for an hour every day, read magazines, and then leave. Because then when they started working out, it was not a problem. They were going to go to the gym regardless of whether they were working out or not. So let's talk about you. What's your normal body type? Kim? I'm kidding. It's supposed to be big. Okay. Ballerina, sumo wrestler, fighter, hockey player, swimmer, soccer player, and a gymnast. They all look extremely different, and I can promise you they're all very fit, besides the sumo wrestler. He's not that fit. But still, different body types do different things. You gotta understand your own body type, right? So, and that's supposed to be body, not bod. Understand who you are and how you work. If you're take Cadet Schultz for example. Who's your roommate at your pro training?
This is Officer at Dakota.
And he's huge, right?
Yeah, he's bodybuilder.
Exactly. And you're not a bodybuilder. You're a calisthenics type of guy. But you both performed at the same level, essentially, didn't you?
No, he jumped out.
Basic point. Understand your body type and the type of physical activity that you're doing. If you're a bodybuilder, you think you're going to be able to run, a 9-minute PFA? Probably not, right? You got a ton of weight to move around when you're eating that heavy ass breakfast. Oh, excuse me, that heavy breakfast. So make sure that you understand who you are and how your functions work, sort of. And your most fun type of exercise. Okay, so curling is not the world's most exciting sport, but these guys clearly love it, and they're in the Olympics, so they're probably good at it. I mean, it's just sweeping ice, how hard can it be? But find something that you enjoy doing. Cabin Spots is a total fanatic about ultimate disc. It's like fun, I guess. That's not really my sport, but he loves to do it, and it gets him out there running and sweating and everything. So what is it that you like to do? What is it that gets you going and that you're going to actively participate? So that Perry's golfing in the background now. What's going to get you to go out and walk 10 miles or to sweat or to do something and not even have to think about it, right? It's always better when it's fun. And favorite foods. I have a sincere weak spot for ice cream. That's why I don't buy it anymore. And so that's something you got to think about, is what do you eat too much of and what do you not eat enough of? I don't eat enough veggies, and so I started taking like the little kid squeeze bowls, you know, that have veggies in them, and I bring those for a snack because they're delicious and I get my veggies. What are you eating too much of? Whatever it is, stop buying it. Unless of course it's apples or spinach or something. I don't buy ice cream because I'll eat an entire Ben & Jerry's plank by myself, and then the next day I'll go, oh, I don't have any ice cream, I should go get ice cream. And while ice cream has beneficial factors, I guess, for fat and sugar, it's definitely not something that I should be eating every single day. Goals. All right. Like I said, you got to have something that you're going to work for. What do you want your body to look like? You laugh, but this is my new goal. Me and Taylor Lautner are going to be on the same level of abdominals by the end of the semester. And that's because I had no goal. I had no destination in which I was going. And so I was like, man, what do I want out of working out? I'm getting hundreds on my PFA. I feel fine. I'm not having a heart attack. Knock on wood. What is it that I'm like striving to achieve by still going to the gym? And I realized, well, it's that beach spot, you know? That's what I want. And so that's how I motivate myself to go to the gym every day. And so do your research. What are you striving for? Okay, now look up how people got there. Arnold Schwarzenegger is definitely super famous for knowing how his body works and for being somebody that has promoted smart physical fitness. He doesn't do a bunch of pre-workout supplements and everything necessarily because he understands he doesn't need to. He just needs to eat right and he needs to work out in a certain way and use certain techniques. If this is what you want to look like, then find those people who do and ask them what they do. Go online, go to bodybuilder.com, go to newbalance.com. New Balance has a great running technique, and figure out how it is that those people do it and try and emulate that. And you always got to have a partner, right? Everyone does better when they have somebody they can work with. That's a bird and a mouse. I work out with a couple guys from here at the detachment, and it works out great because we all have the same goals, essentially. We all know how to do things, essentially, and we're able to watch each other and help each other. Like I said, when you're trying to push yourself in the gym, you're going to need a spot. So have somebody that you trust and that you know to help you do it. If you're running a PFA, then have somebody to help you pace. I usually pace myself with Cadet Schultz because he's slightly faster than me. All right, you're faster than me, more than slightly.
We're the same.
Okay, well, yeah. So we're roughly the same, and if we can push each other, then we do a whole heck of a lot better than if we run our own. All right, good habits. Make sure your plan is plausible and follow through with it. So you got to be like Rocky. You got to set your goal. You got to make a habit out of it, and then you got to make sure that that goal is achievable. You all may be looking at Taylor Lautner right now and being like, you don't look like him. I understand this, but I can do it, and I'm getting close. So whatever you're trying to do, make sure that it's possible. If you're good at thesis, you're probably not going to try and look like Schwarzenegger, am I right? I mean, you're close as it is, but you know, you're not. If you're trying to look like Lou Ferrigno, then okay, make sure that your body type is going to work for it, and make sure that you have time to do that and the money to do it. If you can't afford your pre-workout, if you can't afford to eat as healthy as you want, then sort of balance things out. Figure out a different workout that'll keep you fit, that won't bust the bank, or figure out something that'll give you enough time to also get A's in school. Tim, they're killing me. Eating appropriately is sort of controversial. There's a lot of fads that go around. Gluten-free. not a fan of that one. Veganism, pescatarianism, whatever it is, don't eat things that are allergic to you, right? That's obvious. But also, don't eat things in excess. So in this picture, if it was any bigger and you could see it, we got ham, we got eggs, cheese, veggies, bagels, donuts, bread. All these things are normal everyday foods. You don't have to eat like a weirdo. You don't have to eat chicken's tail every day. But just make sure that everything is in an appropriate amount. Like I said, don't eat a pint of Ben & Jerry's. Make sure that everything sort of balances with each other. Hit your food pyramid, which got repealed and then they put it back again. So everything in appropriate manners. And live healthy. So here's a nice picture. Doing a hike. Super easy, kind of. It was one of the scariest hikes I've ever done. But the thing is that we did it, and it was something that we had fun doing, and it was really easy. And it's an active thing that I am able to do with my friends and have a good time at. You have to keep up the lifestyle that you want. What's up?
I thought that was good.
Oh, it is, yeah. And Lieutenant Galantan. So do things that are appropriate for you. This is essentially this overarching thesis here. Live healthy in the sense that you're going to make sure you're making good choices for both your body and for your mind and for everything that you do. Why? Be awesome. Everyone wants to be awesome, right? Yeah. It would be awesome if you live healthy manners. Get 109 PFA. What's the first thing? Well, no, what's one of the top 3 things that get added to your ranking system? Yeah, exactly. And if you have 100 on that, then it's like, okay, well, that's awesome. So if you get 100 on your PFA, then it makes you just a little bit higher than most everybody else. And you live longer. There was a man that was recently named Bodybuilder Man of the Year, and he's 106. So if you start to live healthy, you start to do the appropriate things for your body types, then you're going to be awesome, get 100 on PFA, and live longer, which who does not want those things right now? Exactly. An overview. We went over PT of the day, personal PT, and why it's important. Are there any questions? Nobody has any questions? All right. I expect hundreds then. Thanks.